Most fans think the NBA's craziest stories happen on the court. Buzzer beaters, fights, rivalries. But if you ask the players themselves, the real madness happened after the games ended. Because for decades, NBA superstars weren't just athletes. They were global celebrities moving through a world of private jets, VIP rooms, and a lifestyle that felt more like a non-stop party than a professional sport. And some of the stories that have come out over the years are almost impossible to believe. Take the 2000 Sydney Olympics. Kevin Garnett once talked about it on a podcast and described the Olympic Village like it was absolute chaos. Not violence, not crime, but a completely different kind of madness. Thousands of athletes from every country in the world, all living in one giant complex, young, famous, competitive, and suddenly surrounded by attention. At one point, according to Garnett, a staff member walked into a game room carrying a massive container filled with thousands of condoms. He dumped the entire thing into a bowl on the table and walked away. Garnett said before the guy could even turn around, the bowl was empty. 30 seconds, completely gone. The situation got so wild that NBA security eventually stepped in and removed the basketball players from the Olympic Village entirely. They were relocated to a separate hotel nearly an hour and a half away. Officially, it was about security and influence, but everyone understood what that really meant. The NBA guys had become the center of attention, and things were spiraling out of control. But the Olympics were just a small glimpse into a culture that had been developing inside the league for years. Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas once revealed something that shocked a lot of people when he talked about the dating scene around the league. According to him, the NBA has what players jokingly call a shared dating pool. His claim was that many players eventually find themselves dating women who had previously been connected to other players. And the locker room apparently has its own way of dealing with that. Arenas described a situation where a rookie might walk into the locker room, excited about a new girlfriend, only for the veterans to immediately ask him to pull up her Instagram. Within seconds, the older players start scanning the photos. If they recognize her from previous situations around the league, they warn the rookie not to get emotionally invested. It's basically a vetting process designed to protect younger players from getting caught up in drama. And the reason for that caution isn't just gossip. Some players have talked about situations where women allegedly tried to take photos or videos while players were asleep, hoping to use the material for leverage later. According to Arenas, some players even share warnings privately so others don't fall into the same traps. But even with all that chaos in the modern NBA, the current generation still can't compete with one legendary figure from the past: Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt wasn't just one of the most dominant players in basketball history. He also became famous for a statistic that had absolutely nothing to do with basketball. In his autobiography, Wilt famously claimed that he had been with more than 20,000 women. To put that number into perspective, people have actually done the math. To reach 20,000 partners over a 40-year span, someone would have needed to average more than 2 different women every single day without stopping. Whether the number was exaggerated or not, the story became part of NBA mythology. Wilt even designed his home to match the reputation. In the early 1970s, reporters visited his Bel Air mansion, which he called Ursa Major. The place was unlike anything most people had ever seen. One of the bedrooms reportedly had mirrors covering the walls and ceiling, with a massive custom waterbed at the center of the room. It looked less like a bedroom and more like something out of a movie set. Wilt also claimed he had a strict personal rule. He said he avoided relationships with married women because he didn't want the drama or complications. Whether that rule was always followed is another question entirely, but it showed that even someone with that reputation still tried to keep some kind of system in place. But while Wilt was building his legend quietly, another NBA superstar was turning nightlife into a full-blown spectacle: Magic Johnson. During the 1980s, Magic wasn't just the face of the Los Angeles Lakers, he was the face of Los Angeles itself. The Showtime Lakers dominated the NBA, and Magic's personality made him one of the most famous athletes in the world. That fame brought an unbelievable amount of attention. In interviews and his autobiography, Magic has spoken openly about the lifestyle he lived during that period. After games, it wasn't unusual for large groups of people to gather at hotels or parties, hoping to meet the players. Hollywood celebrities, musicians, and athletes all mixed together in the same circles. Magic once admitted that during that period of his life, he was surrounded by more attention than he could even keep track of. But everything changed on November 7th, 1991. That was the day Magic Johnson shocked the entire world by announcing that he had tested positive for HIV. At the time, the disease was poorly understood and widely feared. Magic's announcement instantly transformed the conversation around athlete lifestyles and personal responsibility. It forced the entire sports world to confront the reality that the party culture surrounding professional athletes had real consequences. And yet, even after that wake-up call, the wild stories inside the league didn't completely disappear. Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most dominant big men in basketball history, has admitted in interviews that during his playing days, he made a lot of mistakes in his personal life. Shaq once took full responsibility for the problems that eventually led to the end of his marriage, openly acknowledging that fame and temptation played a role. The challenge for someone at Shaq's level of fame was that privacy almost didn't exist. When you're 7 feet tall and one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet, even the smallest mistake can turn into a headline. And sometimes the stories around NBA players went far beyond anything people expected. Dennis Rodman might be the most unpredictable personality the league has ever seen. While most players tried to keep their personal lives somewhat controlled, Rodman seemed to embrace chaos. His relationship with pop icon Madonna became one of the most talked about celebrity stories of the 1990s. Rodman even claimed in interviews that Madonna once called him while he was in Las Vegas and asked him to fly across the country immediately. According to Rodman, he actually left the casino table, jumped on a plane, and flew to New York. Whether every detail of the story is accurate or not, it perfectly fits the larger-than-life reputation Rodman built throughout his career. But not every story connected to this lifestyle ends with laughter or legendary status. Lamar Odom's story is a reminder of the darker side of fame. Odom was one of the most talented players of his generation and became a key part of the Los Angeles Lakers championship teams. But behind the scenes, he struggled with addiction and personal battles that slowly began to take control of his life. In his memoir, Odom admitted that his lifestyle had spiraled into something far beyond normal relationships. He described periods of his life where he was constantly surrounded by temptation and struggled to find balance. Everything came to a terrifying climax in 2015, when Odom was found unconscious at a brothel in Nevada after a multi-day binge involving heavy substances and extreme exhaustion. He suffered multiple strokes and heart attacks and spent days in a coma while doctors fought to save his life. For many fans, it was a shocking moment that revealed how dangerous the celebrity lifestyle could become when it went too far. Looking back, it's almost unbelievable how different the NBA world used to be. Many of these stories happened before social media, before camera phones, and before every moment of an athlete's life could instantly become global news. Today's players live in a completely different reality. One wrong message, one leaked photo, one mistake caught on a security camera can travel around the world in seconds. But decades ago, the league existed in a kind of wild frontier era. NBA superstars were treated like rock stars, moving through cities filled with attention, temptation, and opportunities that most people could barely imagine. Some of them turned those moments into legendary stories, and others learned the hard way that the lifestyle could be just as dangerous as it was exciting.